King Solomon, who was said to be one of the wisest men in the world, said that there is a time to speak and a time to be silent. But to speak words of goodness and greatness, but yet one needs to minimize unnecessary chatter. It's been said also that there's nothing better and more beneficial for a person than silence. A fence around wisdom is called silence, and this refers to unnecessary speech, especially in worldly matter. Silence is good for the wise. How much more is it true for others? And the best remedy is silence, because it spares a person from many different issues. It's interesting that it says that the way a human being was created was with 2 ears and 1 mouth. And so the reason for that is so that he knows to minimize the speech. But at the same time, we see that the Creator made it so that the tongue was placed behind 2 walls, the teeth and the lips. And this is so that one should refrain from inappropriate speech. Now, there are 5 kinds of speech in the world, interestingly enough. There is one kind which is speaking about good things, about growth and studies and things that have helped the world become a better place. There's a second kind of speech which is called forbidden speech. Forbidden means speaking about falsehood or things that are unclean or using language to curse others. Then there is another speech called redundant speech, which brings neither benefit nor harm. And it's people sitting around and discussing current events and the news. Then there's another kind called commendable speech. This is about praising positive things and noting the damaging effect of negative things. It includes praising things that we find that are necessary for the world to be a good place to live in. But this could be done also by telling a story, things that people would be inspired by or motivated to listen to. And there's also the last one, which is called permissible speech. That which is necessary for the day-to-day living and for business. Now, of all these, one should really try to concentrate on the speech on which something is done for a commendable reason, and to minimize the rest. Once a person pays attention to that, they become a better person. You see, if you think about that, the tongue is hidden in the mouth, just like a treasure, which should be kept concealed and locked. And only good things should be used for that moment. It's been said that in our childhood we learn to speak, and as we become older, we learn to keep silent. But that's the problem, you see, because we learn to speak before we learn how to keep silent. Now, for oneself, you don't need to speak. Thought is sufficient enough. You only need speech for the benefit of another person. But if you stop and think for a moment, perhaps your friend may not be interested in what you have to say, may not be interested in what you have to share. So speech is something which has to be carefully, at all times, noted and carefully prepared. A person who just speaks out of their mouth and lets it run like a spigot of water is making a mistake. There is nothing better in the world than silence. The wisdom of silence is what gives a person the ability to grow. And if you watch your speech and you watch what you say all the time to anyone and in any place, you will grow, you will become wiser, and you'll hear more than you'll say. And by hearing, you'll learn, and you will change the world. And I hope you do.
If you like what you've heard, please let us know by leaving a comment below. We would really appreciate if you would be kind enough to like, share, and even subscribe. Feel free to follow us on Facebook.